Hi guys, welcome to my channel or welcome back. So today's video is going to be a first impressions of this palette, which is the Menagerie Cosmetics Violet Ink palette. So yesterday I did a look using the Whale Song palette by Menagerie. So you've got two in a row for Menagerie, but Menagerie has such amazing shadows, and I was thinking, what do I want to do today? So I've got quite a few new things to look at, and I thought I don't mind doing 2 days in a row of Menagerie. I do love their products so much. So just take a minute for the artwork here. It's absolutely stunning. I hope that's focusing okay, and that's one thing that's always stand out with Menagerie, the packaging. The only thing I would say that I miss in the packaging is if you've got the Feral palette, you'll know that it's got like a shiny kind of surface to it. This one's matte. I preferred the shiny, just it looks a bit more quality to me, but it's only a very minor thing. It comes in a box like this. I normally keep my palettes in the box, so that's still hanging around. And then that's the palette inside. And then inside we've got a mirror, which is nice for such a small palette to have a mirror like that. It looks a good quality mirror. And then you've got the 6 shades and all purple, and that's what attracted me to this, is that I don't have very many good purples in my collection, and I certainly don't have an all purple palette, so that's a welcome addition to my collection. Even though I've got so many shadows, this is something I don't have, so that's exciting to me. So in this palette you've got 4 matte shades and you've got 2 shimmers. So the shade Mimic and 3 Hearts, so those 2 are your shimmers. And then you've got Jellyfish, Inkjet, Iron Grip and Octopi, and they're your mattes. So just about every tone that you might want of purple as well. And I think whilst those 2 are quite similar, there's definitely a variation in tones. Like this one's more warmer and will go really well with that one. That's more cooler to go with that one. And I love that there's a deepening shade, so there's variety in the palette in terms of tone to be able to get some dimension into an eye look. So that's my first impressions looking at the shades, and I love the names. The names are always really tie in with the theme with Menagerie palettes as well. So lots of love and care has gone into this, which I always appreciate. So I'm going to do an eye look with them. Probably won't use all 6 shades, and I'll probably do a combination video using the Courtship, which is their other micro palette, in another video, because the shade Besties, the pink one, I think will go lovely with Iron Grip as well. So I'm going to apply some tape today because I want to do something a bit more winged out, and I just find that the easiest way to achieve that without letting things run too wild. I've already primed my eyes, but if they look a bit strange, it's because yesterday I used the Whale Song, which really stains. So that's another thing I'll be interested to know, is whether these do stain or not. It's not an issue for me. I wear makeup practically every day, and it's easily covered with concealer and it disappears fairly quickly. But this is a pressed pigment palette, so, and with colours like this I would expect some staining, particularly from Menagerie, where that does seem to be an issue, if I'm honest. But I'm going to jump straight into it and start applying some of the shades. I think I'll probably start with the shade Octopi. I'm going to go for a bit more of a cooler toned kind of look. So probably these 3 shades will be where I'm going to be dipping into the most. But as I say, I'm going to start with Octopi. I've got the Sosu SK02 brush here, quite a fluffy sort of brush, just to start me off. Trying to find a brush in my collection that had darker coloured hair because I didn't want to stain my brushes. But I'm going to start just building up that pigment in the outer corner. There is kick up in the pan. Don't know if you can see that, that was just from tapping it. So these are quite a powdery but pigmented matte formula. But for a purple, that is really, it's intense, it doesn't look patchy to me, and it's a beautiful tone as well. Yeah, I like that a lot. I'm going to keep this fairly simple, just winged out in the outer corners. Just basically building up the pigment. That is going on super nice. I can only imagine how vivid this would be over a white base, which I might have to try that soon, because the Painterly Paint Pot, whilst I like it for covering up any pigmentation on my eyes, my redness, my veins, etc., it doesn't make the shades pop that much because it has a pinky tone to it. So a white base like the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk would really make these pop, I think. But look at the vibrancy of that purple. I don't know if it's coming out on camera as vibrant as it is, but it's beautiful. I'm getting some fallout, but because I've got taupe there, it's going to be super easy to get rid of. I'm going to switch to a bit smaller brush. This one's by Illamasqua. I'm going to go in with Jellyfish just in the sort of more inner part here and into the front part of my crease. So that's Jellyfish there. So I'm going to get that to meet up in that corner. But I'm sort of leaving a gap between those two, which I'm going to fill with the shimmer. That shade again, getting considerable kick up in the pan. Just going to see if I can show you that. I am getting quite a lot of kick up. But what I'm doing is mopping that kick up with the brush rather than swirling in to get more pigment. I'm just literally pressing on it to kind of mop it up so I don't waste it. But they're going on super pigmented, and those two are blending into one another really nicely, and I've got quite a stiff brush here as well, so not making it easy for myself, but they are blending quite nicely. Just to get a bit more intensity sort of on this wing, I'm going to go in with the shade Ink Jet and just a pencil brush and trace a line there as well. And that shade is what I'm going to drag down onto my lower lash line, so it'll help to make that flow a bit more there. And the SK3 by Sosu, which is a really small but fluffy brush, I'm just going to blend the top line of this shade we put down, the Jellyfish shade. Make things super blended up there. And I'm going in with the NYX Glitter Primer and a really fine brush, and this one's SK7 by Sosu. I'm loving these brushes at the moment. So what I want to do is use the glitter glue to sort of carve out the shape where I want to put the shimmer. So it's going in the front part of my lid there. I'm trying to do this so that you can see. Into that sort of shape that I've made. So the shimmer I'm going to use is 3 Hearts, so this one. I find with Menagerie shimmers are absolutely beautiful, but they're quite flaky-ish unless they're sprayed or over glitter glue, so they look stunning. But to get them to have the pigmentation that I want and the vibrancy and whatever, then I will always either spray, but I do that with every shimmer anyway. Just in the space here in the front, so I've got the shimmer going over the middle. In this bit here, I'm going to go back in with Ink Jet because I don't feel like it's deep enough as I wanted to show the difference between the two as such. And the same thing with the other eye. I think it would have worked better if I'd got a lighter shimmer, the technique that I'm trying to do here. I'm not sure if it worked. It's not the shadow's fault, it's my fault. I'm going to take this tape off because it's annoying me and it's done its job now. Right, I'm just going to go off camera and clean up my foundation because it's kind of off-putting because it's like quite badly lifted that by using the tape. So I'll do that and then I'll come back and finish at the lower lash line and mascara and lips on camera. Okay, so what I've decided to do for my waterline, in the picture there's some yellow here and I thought I would echo that with Linda Hallberg's Happy Mood pencil. So I'm going to take that in my waterline, just giving a different dimension, and I'm really liking that. And then for my lower lash line I'm going to use Octopi and my Urban Decay L301 lip brush to apply that. I'm just keeping that pretty close to my lashes. I think this is in Tone, one of my favourite shades in the palette. And for this just little part here on my lower lash line and into my inner corners, I'm going to use the shade Mimic. I'm not sure if it'll be light enough. Yeah, it's pretty dark. I think what I'm going to do is cheat and put some highlight there. So I've got Jeffree Star's Skin Frost in Lavender Snow. And I'm just going to pop on some Bad Gal Bang mascara. Just a little sample size of that. Okay, so lips are Jeffree Star's Popsicle Dream, and I've got Bad Girl Bang mascara. So that's the finished look. I'll just scoot you in a little. So what I was trying to do with the shimmer shade was sort of just have a little bit of a sort of slanty shape just on my lid to kind of echo the V shapes I've got in the corner. But I was finding the technique very difficult to get it precise. So it was just a bad eyeshadow day for me today. I could maybe have not posted a video, but I wanted to keep it real for you guys because nobody has a perfect day applying their makeup every day. We all have issues. I think the final look has come out really nice. So, and it gives you an idea of the vibrancy of the shadows because, oh my god, they are so stunning. So my thoughts on the palette then. I said I was going along there, but Octopi is definitely my favourite shade in the palette that I've used so far. Love the tones of that. It's what's making the wing at the side. And also Inkjet was what deepened it up, and I've used Inkjet underneath. So they've what given it the vibrancy. The shimmer, I don't think I've given it a fair chance. So the shimmer that I used was 3 Hearts. I think if I'd have used it all over my lids, it would be a lot more intense, packed over glitter glue. So I will use it again and try that. This shade Mimic isn't light enough to use in a corner highlight. I didn't think it would be able to sort of try it. So I need to use that maybe with these other shades in a different look. So I've not used everything, but so far I'm pleased I got it because it's given me a lot more purples to use. I love how it's playing off the yellow in my lower lash line, which I took the inspiration from the packaging there with the yellow that's on there. And I think this will be a great companion palette to the Whale Song if you have it, because purples and blues just look so beautiful together. So just a word about buying it if you're in the UK, so, or anywhere that's not US. I paid the $19.99 for it, so just under $20, and it was $15 shipping, so $35 to get 6 shades, quite a lot of money. Didn't have to pay customs, so that was a relief, because on something so small I didn't want to have to pay that. So the customs would have only been 20%, so it wouldn't have been that much, but then they charge £8 handling fee as well. So, but you just never know when you're going to get customs or not, so I factored it in because I really wanted it. But as I say, $35 it cost me to get it, so quite a lot per shade, but I'm not sad about it because those are such vibrant purples, and I just love purple shadow. So really happy that I've got it. Need to play with it more and play with the shades I've not used, and as I say, I will combine it with the Courtship palette, which was a neutral palette but had a pink shimmer shade in it, and I think the pink and purple shimmers will look beautiful together as well. So if you've got other Menagerie palettes, I think they're developing sort of a colour story that will mix and match, which is awesome. But this is something that brings something to your collection, even if you've got a big collection like I do. There just aren't palettes that exist like this that are just totally purple and that are as vibrant as this. The only thing I would have liked, and I did have to bring something else in, is a kind of duochromy pale kind of purple. So I don't know what I would take out, maybe one of the mattes, but I don't know which one because they're both beautiful. But I would have liked to have had something lighter for inner corners or for my lid that's a bit lighter, but maybe some duochrome in it. But we've all got lots of highlights in our collection. I've just packed a bit of Lavender Snow highlight because it was purple in my inner corner, just to give me a little bit lighter inner corner there, and I could have gone even lighter with something brighter than that. I think we've all got those in our collection. So that's my initial thoughts on the palette. Hope you enjoyed seeing me struggle along to do a technique that probably you don't want to replicate, but I think it works really well doing the tape in the outer corners. But I think I should have just put the shimmer completely over my lids and I would have given myself a lot easier time. But I hope you enjoyed watching even so. Hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are. If you like the video, please give it a like, and if you're new here, I'd love it if you would consider subscribing before you go. Other than that, I'll catch you in tomorrow's video, guys. Bye.